Today we're gathering around the campfire with Jerry, a QHS member whose life is as exciting and grounding as a hike through the mountains. But what trails did he tread to reach these heights? Let's trek into the wilderness and discover the adventures that led Jerry to where he is today.
Hi, I'm Jerry. I'm 74 years old, born in 1950. I'm from an Irish Catholic mother and a Scotch Protestant father. They sacrificed. They were poor people. Dad worked in a factory. He had been a coal miner in his younger years and worked in a factory in a little town not far from Indianapolis. And so Mom was a housewife, and they sacrificed to send me to private elementary school and then a Jesuit prep school that moved into the state couple years before I graduated from grade school, and so I went to high school there. I boarded with private families there. Did pretty good. I graduated 10th out of my graduating class of 157, and I was kind of a loner as a child. I was the only child. Mom had a lot of brothers and sisters, though, so I had a lot of cousins, but I spent a lot of time by myself, entertaining myself when I was in grade school and high school. I had skin problems all my life. I had acne in high school. I've got dandruff now and some kind of a itchy, scaly, maybe it's seborrhea, I don't know, on my ears. They itch a lot. And I was allergic to poison ivy as a kid, and so I've had my share of skin issues. But the main problem, well, I had cancer in 2019. It was diagnosed, and I have read a lot about it because my mom died of complications from lung cancer, and one of my closest cousin, who was about a half generation ahead of me, died of, she had cervical cancer and it metastasized all through her body. She had a very painful death back in 2008. Mom passed away in 1995. Dad had a massive heart attack at the age of 68. He had black lung disease and had scarlet fever when he was a kid, so he had a bad heart, and so he died when I was 24. I was in flight school. After college, I went to Marquette University in Milwaukee, another Jesuit school, and then didn't really distinguish myself there. So about a year after graduation, I joined the Air Force and became a helicopter pilot, then jets later, then back into helicopters. My wife was from Dallas. She always was homesick while we were in the military, so we had 5 children together, and she had one when we got married, so I raised 6, and so I didn't make a lot of money really as a military man, even as a pilot and an officer. So I got out at age 36. I was a senior captain. I didn't get promoted to major because I was anti-political when I went in the Air Force, and in peacetime, it's the OERs, the officer efficiency reports, are inflated, and we used to say if you didn't walk on water, then you weren't going to get promoted. Then they would force you to administratively separate out at the rank of captain if you weren't promoted to major. They give you a $30,000 bonus back then. That was 1986, an honorable discharge, and I was out. Luckily, I had a billionaire in Dallas that wanted to give an air ambulance program like the one at the famous one, Life Flight at Herman Hospital in Houston, which is where I now live. He wanted to give one of those to Parkland Hospital. His wife was on the board of Parkland with Paul Bass, one of the famous wealthy Bass family, and so he hired me to create the air ambulance program, and I did, but got it FAA certificated, and then we didn't get the contract. Caroline Hunt, one of the Hunt family, billionaires in their own right, or close to it at the time. She had bought an offshore helicopter operator, Pumpkin Air, and converted it into Silver Star Aviation, and they had 12 hospital contracts at the time. So they got the contract with the Dallas hospitals, and so the billionaire that had hired me, Harold Simmons, lost interest, and I just flew as a corporate co-pilot on one of his jets for a while, and then they invited me to go into sales for one of their companies, so I never got back to aviation. Stayed in sales for the last 31 years, and I was in life insurance. About 8 months ago, I had the biggest sale of my 31-year career. Kind of fell in my lap, but and I've also developed a drone aerial photography business now. My fiance is soon to come here, probably in December, and has inherited some property, a house in Hawaii, so we'll probably move there. It's tough. Anyway, so the cancer, I had colon cancer diagnosed in 2019, and so I went the holistic route, having studied everything for a long time, and all I knew from insurance to all they can do in traditional medicine is cut, burn, and poison, radiation, chemo, and surgery. So, but luckily, after about a year, I thought I had it licked, and I felt so good that I went cold turkey, which is dumb, but anyway, so then it came back with a vengeance about a year later. So it was there's a kind of a ball at the end of the colon on your right side, just under your waist there, and so it started there and grew. It was about 7 centimeters by 3 centimeters by the time it was hurting real bad, and it started hurting real bad a couple months before I got the small black QT wave in August of 22. So a year later, at that time, that was a year or so after my diagnosis initially, and I went into the hospital, and they took it out the next day, and I was in the hospital and rehab a total of about 8 weeks. Got a big scar about, 14 inches or so, a foot long, something like that, vertically running from just below my solar plexus down to about 3 inches below my navel. And I'm not going to the beach regularly or anything, so it doesn't bother me, but that's going to disappear, of course, with all I don't have really any other recognizable scars, but I have a lot of age spots on my hands. The main thing, though, is I've developed sciatica. I guess it's sciatica. Real bad pain in my hips in the last 8 months or so. So bad that I walk slow, and a lot of times the muscles want to give away, and I almost go down. I haven't fallen yet, but I suppose one of these days, if it went on, and I get old enough and weak enough. But that's not going to happen, fortunately, because of a man named Dr. Alfredo and Cynthia Carden and all of the wonderful people at Quantum Healing Systems. And I'd like to help one day. I have some currencies. I'm looking forward to the revaluation, the RV, and I'm going to give some of the proceeds of that, the lion's share, to Quantum Healing Systems, and would like to have a center with my girlfriend, fiance, soon to be my wife. And she's a nurse, registered nurse, so she's interested in that as well. So that's pretty much my story. There's one other thing. I severed the tendon on the middle knuckle here of this finger, and so I can bend the final joint down here on all the other fingers, but this one I can't bend that last joint closest to the nail right there because the tendon's severed. So I'm looking forward to having that back too. So we'll see. Thanks a lot.
Join us on the Prequel, where every story matters and every voice is heard. Because here at QHS, we're all about healing, learning, and growing together.